Hey guys, Dan here. Welcome to another edition of Dan Reviews It. Going to talk this time about Valerian and the City of a Thousand Planets. It takes place in the 28th century, and it stars Dane DeHaan as Valerian, and along with his co-worker slash kind of girlfriend, Laureline, played by Cara Delevingne. They are sent by the Minister of Defense to safeguard the universe, really, from this dark, mysterious force on the Alpha Quadrant, which is home to hundreds of different species, and they have to try and figure out what exactly this dark force is and how to stop it. And in the process, save their own lives, really. But in addition, bring back an entire race that was thought to be destroyed, and like I said, kind of save the entire planet. So that's the basic synopsis. It's a very complicated movie, but that's sort of the general gist of it. But is it a good movie? I think it's pretty good. It's directed by Luc Besson, who brought us Lucy and The Fifth Element. Now, I just saw The Fifth Element for the very first time pretty recently and loved it. I can see why it's so beloved as sort of a sci-fi classic at this point. Lucy was pretty good. Definitely had some problems though, and that's kind of how I feel about Valerian. I think it's a pretty good movie, and the plot is pretty good. It's nothing groundbreaking, but it's decent. I like the world that we've been given here. If anything, one of my complaints about the movie is we don't get to explore the world enough, and there really isn't enough time to. It's already a long enough movie. We don't need to go exploring the different species. But what would be interesting about this movie is to expand it, and maybe have it have been a series instead. I try not to read, other reviews, before I do my own videos here, but I did kind of see that somebody had mentioned, that it might work better as a TV series, and I agree with that on the basis of the world is just so cool and unique, and like you always get with these Luc Besson films, it's just visually so appealing and stunning and everything, and it would have been nice to maybe experience some of those species and alien races more than just a line here or just kind of flashing by them as Valerian's running through the town or whatever. I think it would be really cool to explore a lot of those things a little bit more, and we don't really get to here because the plot is kind of convoluted, so there's just so much going on. It's hard to not hard to follow along, but it's hard to really expand on certain things that I wanted expanded. There is a scene with Ethan Hawke and Rihanna that gets expanded upon a lot, and that's cool, but that's only one, or I guess two really, types of people. I think Ethan Hawke might even be a human in it. Rihanna is certainly not. But anyway, so that brings me to really some of the negatives of the film. And other than wanting the world to be expanded upon a little bit, because it is so cool visually, is the casting is not my favorite. Dane DeHaan is okay. I've seen him give good performances. I thought he was really good for The Cure for Wellness. It was a middling movie, but I thought his acting ability in it and his character was good. He has that kind of like really creepy look that worked for that movie. Here, as an action star, I don't know if I buy it, and what's so funny about that is, if you look at the two other big Besson movies, in recent years anyway, you've got Bruce Willis in The Fifth Element, obviously, one of the greatest action heroes of all time, and then you've got Scarlett Johansson and Lucy, who is really, showing us a lot of acting chops in the action genre lately. Anyway, between her stuff with the Avengers series and Lucy and some of the other things she's done. Here it's just like, I don't know. Dane DeHaan is good for certain things. I don't know if he was the right choice for Valerian. And then same thing with Cara Delevingne. She's okay as an actress. I guess she's better as a model. That's how she started out. But here, I don't know that I buy the chemistry between the two of them. There are some scenes where I can believe it, but most of those scenes are when they're separate from each other. I sort of believe her more on her own and less so when she's with him. So that, I think, is an issue for sure. Plot-wise, though, it's good. I think it's kind of basic, I guess, for sci-fi fare, but I like where it was going. I liked some of the intricacies. Some of the side characters are fun, and some are funny, and some are heartbreaking, and the race of people who they thought were no more because their planet basically exploded. We got to delve into them a little bit, and that was cool. They're sort of the emotional center of the movie, really. That's one of the main things that Valerian and the group are fighting for, is to keep them alive. But it was a good movie. Visually, it's stunning. I mean, I really think this is going to be up for at least maybe best makeup or something at the Oscars, because the makeup and the visual component of this film is just awesome. I did not get to see it in 3D, but it's one of those where you could tell like the 3D is probably really good, and I've heard that it is. So it's just time-wise, it did not work out to see it in 3D, so I didn't get to. But that, I think, is the most memorable component of the movie, is the visual aspect. And then maybe secondary is the plot. I wish that the casting choices were a little bit better. I don't think Rihanna's a particularly good actress either. She did well with the visual scenes she was in, like where we could physically see her, but then, and due to plot specifics, I'm not going to go into why, but, in a couple of, or I guess one scene, she's sort of talking through Valerian, and so it's, as you can imagine, just kind of Rihanna was probably just in a sound booth, rolling off lines, and they were just like, it just wasn't believable. I don't know. She's a good singer. I like a lot of her music, but as far as acting, I'm not sure that's the best. So it's weird that I have so many issues with the acting choices just because of Luc Besson's track record. I mean, you look at The Fifth Element, and it's like, Chris Tucker's great, Bruce Willis is great, and Lucy, we said about Scarlett Johansson, Morgan Freeman. It's like all of these really great actors, and I don't think DeHaan and Delevingne were up for the challenge here. But there's definitely some cool stuff. I think the movie is worth checking out. It's getting a lot of hate online, and I'm, like I said, I don't really try to look at reviews, so I'm not sure if a lot of that is because of that stuff or if they just didn't like it for other reasons. I know one of my friends absolutely hated it, but I think it's worth watching, and it is one that, kind of the more I thought about everything afterwards, the more I liked it. But all of my problems originally still exist. I think they've crammed way too much into the movie. I think there's just not enough time to explore everything that you want to be explored in this movie. And I just think the chemistry is not there between the two leads. I like I said, I think they're better in the scenes where they're not together, where they're sort of going off and fighting their own kind of stuff, rather than when they come together. Because they're just not good enough as actors, I think, to kind of pull it off, honestly. And Dane DeHaan, I don't know what to do with him, because I really, sometimes he's really good, and then sometimes I just think he needs to not be acting. Like, it's not for him. I don't know if it's the roles themselves that he's picking, but he's definitely one of the more hit or miss people out there for me in terms of acting. But overall, I would recommend the movie. I think if nothing else, it's engaging, and I think the world is certainly beautiful, and there's a lot of visual things going on, and yeah, it is engaging, like I said, and I think there's parts of it that are funny, and I just wish those issues were thought of. I wish they had chosen different performers for the film, for sure. So I'm gonna leave Valerian with a B minus. I think it's gonna be love it or hate it. I don't know if there's a lot of in between with this movie, like I am. I think it's either gonna be this is really great, awesome, or what is going on in this movie? It's terrible. So it may be one. Just gotta kind of see for yourself. If it looks intriguing to you, go for it. If not, maybe try and catch it for free or something on HBO, or when it comes to Redbox or what have you, because it's definitely got problems. But I enjoy it. I would see it again. So there you go, for what it's worth on Valerian. So that's my review for that. There's a lot of stuff on the channel right now. We've got Buffy reviews, the X-Files reviews, other movie reviews. We've got my monthly wrap-ups, June, which is I know has passed almost a month now, so that's up. We're going to be doing Riverdale. What else? There's other standalone reviews up, for Transformers and Spider-Man and Wonder Woman, and the really big movies of the summer. So you can check out all that stuff. You can subscribe to the channel on YouTube here, or check us out on Facebook at Dan Reviews It. So that's going to do it for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.